In our definition in the department with DG Mbele, we're in agreement that we're moving from high carbon emissions to low carbon emissions. Then we must define the transition. How is it constituted? What will be in that transition? What is it that you do to lower the emissions? And we must remember that this conference takes place when a country we're experiencing frequent load shedding due to challenges with our existing power generation and plant performance. When people want to have a dig on me, they say, yeah, you need more renewables and there will be no load shedding. Because I'm not an engineer, and I don't want to pretend to be one, but I always tell them, my experience is that when you deal with renewables, you give a contract, you have an agreement with them, you must give them time to build the plant to generate energy. So if you give a permit for any renewable project to come to the stream, don't expect it to resolve the load shedding this weekend. They will build it 12 months, 18 months, and then generate the energy, put it on the grid. That is my experience. Engineers can correct me if I'm wrong. And that's why I've been one of the proponents that if we want to deal with load shedding, the main immediate task is to ensure that the gap between 26,000 megawatts and the 58,000 megawatts in ESCOM must be serviced and give us energy. Then we'll deal with load shedding in the immediate. And then build renewables so that we want security in the long term. Now, so welcome and avail ourselves for gatherings of this nature because they enable us in the energy sector to step back, reflect, engage openly and constructively on possible policy, technical and financial solutions to our challenges. And the difference that we're having here today, we're having people who operate plants, people who generate energy. We're not dealing with lobbyists, because when you deal with lobbyists, the engagement is very uncomfortable, because it is more biased towards the ideological content of the engagement, not the technical or financial content of the engagement. And therefore, I'm happy to be here. Security of energy supply is a priority for the government, and our preoccupation as the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy. Access to sustainable, affordable, and reliable energy is current for economic growth and crucial for the attainment of sustainable development goals. South Africa, like the rest of the world, is impacted by global energy challenges. It's not a South African phenomenon. When I said that, everybody ran all over me, but yeah, I'm in denial. I'm not in denial. There is a crisis all over the world. Russia just closed gas to Europe, and I can tell you, here we felt it here, because Europe began to increase its demand for coal from here. Coal sales to Europe have grown eightfold. They've grown by 720%, which tells us that the energy crisis is a global crisis that we must actually work together to find a solution to. The impact is in the form of petroleum products, supply delays, high prices, as well as our cost of constructing material of our new generation capacity projects. And we've seen this impacting on bid window 5. Many of the projects that are in bid window 5 are finding it difficult to find financial close, because factors that and assumptions that they made in making the proposals have changed dramatically. And we have a responsibility to revisit those assumptions and work together to find solutions. If we don't do that, we're not going to get any energy from bid window 5, except the few that have already signed and few that are about to conclude. So It calls on all of us to be more innovative, to look into issues and say assumptions have changed and there's a shift. Therefore, what do we do to ensure that we still get that energy? Because we need it. The government has had to intervene in the last couple of months and subsidize the petroleum products, specifically petrol and diesel. Some of the people don't understand how did we intervene. You remember there was strategic stock, fuel stock, that was sold in a particular way and there was a big noise. We recouped it. We got it, it's ours now. We had to sell it to subsidize the end consumer. And other people said, why do you sell it? What will you do when there's a crisis? And we have to explain that the level of the price of fuel in itself was a disaster. Therefore, we had to use that strategic stock to deal with that disaster. It's good that now, over the last few months, the price has been coming down. It gives us space to breathe, and we can do other things. Permanently cushioning our country against global economic shocks has become urgent. Therefore, the solution lies in sustained development of our indigenous energy resources. In line with our national determined contributions and the integrated resource plan, we intend to move from high carbon emission to low carbon emission. However, we'll do this in a manner that does not undermine our energy security, economic growth plans, and sustainable local communities.